So your paintings are not coming out the way you want. I totally get that. I've been teaching painting for over 20 years, and I find that my students come across the same issues for why their paintings are not turning out the way they want. And so today I want to teach you, first of all, why abstract painting actually is so hard and why it's hard to get the results that you want, but also what you can do to make it a lot easier and to make painting more fun. So let's jump right in. So first of all, I'm Andrea from Santa Fe Painting Workshops. I've been painting for over 30 years and teaching for over 20. And I have kind of distilled it down to 5 different mistakes that my students make that result in weak abstract paintings. So the first one is mindset. And the first thing I want to say is that I don't want you to think anymore that your paintings are bad or that they're horrible or anything like that. That mindset is actually pretty destructive. What I want you to say instead is, my painting hasn't figured itself out yet, or my painting is not there yet. Every adult went through puberty first, right? And puberty is not a very pretty time. Our paintings go through that puberty. We got the pimples and the braces and the squeaky voice. The painting looks terrible, you hate it, you want to throw it away. This happens to me. I've been painting for 30 years. So don't think it's just you. It is part of the process. So I want you to no longer say your paintings are terrible, you don't know what you're doing. I want you instead to say it just isn't there yet. So there usually are some reasons why you can't resolve your painting and make it strong, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. The next mindset thing I want to instill in you is that abstract painting is hard. Now, most people think, oh, my 8-year-old could do that. When I taught middle school art, my students would say, oh, I could do that. That looks so easy. Why is that worth $1 million? And I understand that some people are just not as educated about art and they don't really understand what goes into an abstract painting. And you now have probably started abstract painting and you understand that it's really difficult. But it's only those who have done it before, who understand the art world and the painting world, know that it's actually more difficult. So what is abstract painting? We're creating something out of nothing. Usually you just are painting forms and shapes on a surface. Sometimes you're abstracting a figure or abstracting a still life. Now let's just think for a second about representational painting. Once you learn the rules about how to copy something, how to use value and proportion and different things like that, once you learn how to copy something, you know how to copy it. With abstraction, now you have to create something out of nothing. You have to figure out what to paint, how to start, what to do, and that is actually harder because you are creating. The second thing that many of my students fall into a trap with is color. People think color's intuitive, and it definitely can be. There are some people who are really good with color, who can just make something look beautiful. They haven't even studied color theory before. But for most people, we actually have to understand color well, and I'll tell you why. So I'm gonna guess that some of your paintings, either you've gotten mud a lot, or you have so many colors going on in your piece, there's not really a coherent color theme or color story. So if you have made mud, it is so frustrating, but here's why you're getting mud. When we mix opposite colors in the color wheel, we get a brown. Basically, anytime you mix a color with another color, you dull that color down. And so the more colors you mix with each other, the more you're actually dulling down your colors. And so people don't realize that. They're just painting, they're having fun, they're throwing colors on, but it's getting muddier and muddier, and it ends up not looking so good. So a tip for you to make your paintings better is only mix opposite colors in the color wheel if you're trying to make brown or trying to desaturate the other color. Otherwise, avoid mixing opposites in the color wheel. Now, my new students, what I see is that they have way too many colors going on. So my guess is that also has happened to you. You have maybe 5, 6, 7 different colors happening, and that's overwhelming for the viewer, and it results in a weak painting. So you want to make sure to try to limit your colors. So what I'd like you to try doing is try just painting with 2 or 3 colors plus white and black and see if that helps a little bit. Because we want to have a unity with the colors that we have. Perhaps it's mostly a warm color scheme, or the color scheme is cool. We want to have some kind of color story, and we want to have a dominant color. If we don't have one dominant color, then it's not really sure who's in charge there in the painting, and again, it just turns out to be weak. So I want you to think about reducing your colors. But really, the big lesson here is you need to really study color theory. Some people just hate the idea of studying color theory. And I get that, it can feel daunting. But the thing is, when you understand color really well, you'll rarely get mud because you realize exactly why you got it. You'll know how to create really beautiful color schemes that have an emotional pull for your viewers, and you will just understand how to mix any color that you want. And so studying color theory, I think, is actually the most important thing that you can do as an artist, and specifically as an abstract painter. Let's go back to representational painting again. If you are painting an image of a horse in a field, the colors are already there for you. The color scheme is there. You can change it up a little bit, but it's already given to you. With abstract painting, you choose the color scheme. And so you see that once again, we have to make more choices. And so it is more difficult. And so you really have to understand color well. So is it color that you find is tripping you up? Are you getting mud a lot? Are your colors just not quite right? Will you please comment? I'm really wanting to understand, what is it that trips you up about color? Now, the third mistake that I see my students make a lot is they don't have a strong focal point or composition. So if you look at your paintings and you don't see one thing that's really pulling you in, or there's like a lot of different lines and marks going all over the place, or your lines and marks take you out of the painting, then probably it's composition that's the issue. I actually think color and composition are the two most important things, because what is a painting? Look at the painting right behind me. That is colors and shapes on a surface, how we arrange those shapes on the surface. So with composition, we have to have a strong focal point. What do you want the viewer to see first, right? How do you create a focal point? Making it big, making it bright, making it the most contrasty thing in the piece. There's a lot of ways to make a focal point. But then besides that, how do your other lines and shapes and marks point to your focal point? Do they drive us there? Do they drive us around the painting? So we're encouraged through marks to explore other regions of the painting. All this relates to design and composition, and you have to understand it well to make a strong abstract painting. Let's say you're painting a representational landscape from a photo. You see where the horizon line is. You see where the trees are. You see what the colors are. Now, a lot of artists will actually change the composition a bit, and they will crop the image. But still, a lot of the composition is laid out for you. Once again, is why you have to understand design and composition so well in abstraction, because you have to know where to put the shapes, how big to make them, and so on and so forth. Now, I do have two other mistakes that a lot of my students make. But at this point, you've come this far, and if you've learned a few things so far, if this kind of resonates with you, you might want to check out my hour-long training on this very issue, and it's called From Blank Canvas to Bold Abstract, 5 Pro Tips for Stunning Paintings. And so I go over mindset, color, and composition, and also the next 2 things I'm going to discuss. So in this training, I go into a lot more detail on each of these things, and I have a slideshow. I show you images from the Renaissance, and I point out things that they're doing. I look through my own images, talk about color scheme, and so there's a lot more information in there, and it goes into a lot more depth. So if you really want to study this more and understand how to make your paintings better, I invite you to attend this training. It's an hour long, it's totally free, and the link is right below in the description box. Okay, so let's go to the fourth thing now. So the fourth thing is, if you're just using paintbrushes to make your abstract paintings, you are missing out on a whole world of ways to make marks. When we're just using a paintbrush, it just feels a bit contrived and we've seen that before, right? I want you to go beyond your brush, and I want you to find some other tools to make unique marks. If you have any unique tools that you love to use and you want to share them in the comments, please do it. I would love to hear about some other tools that you all use. And then the fifth thing that I see is that my students don't have enough layers. So take a look at your paintings once again. Are there a lot of layers? Because the thing is, layers create mystery and there's depth. And we want to see what's below those layers. And when we have all these layers, we are building up a really rich visual story. So if you have 2 layers on your piece, if you're lucky, it works really well. But I think layers can add so much richness to paintings, especially when you pair that with the unique tools and the color and the composition. You put all that together, and then you really can come out with some really strong abstract paintings. So once again, I want to invite you to that training. Just click below. It's a pre-recorded training, and so you can actually choose whatever time you want to see it. And I think you will come out with a lot more detail and a lot more information about how to make your painting stronger. Now, my last tip is I recommend going to art museums and galleries and looking at a lot of art. Now, if you don't have a lot of museums and galleries where you live, then look at art history books or art books, or go online and search images. If you love abstract landscapes, Google abstract landscapes. So I want you to look at good art, what you consider to be good art, okay? And why do you like it? What is drawing you in about that artwork? And that will help you to see what a good art piece is. I want you to notice, how are they using color? How many colors do they have? What's their composition? Is it strong? Do their marks pull you around the painting and keep you wanting to explore the painting? These are things that you can check to see if the painting is strong, and this will help you learn how to make your own painting stronger. I hope that this lesson inspires you to know that you actually can learn to paint. It doesn't matter if you went to art school. It doesn't matter if you were born a genius like Picasso, at age 6, he was drawing realistic horses. Okay, we're all not like that. For most of us, we have to learn, we have to study. But you don't have to have gone to art school, okay? I truly don't believe that. I was self-taught for the first 10 years or so in my painting journey. So you can learn. So I want you to know that you can learn how to paint abstractly, and you can learn how to do it well. You just have to have the passion and drive and make some time to learn some fundamentals so you can make the paintings that express your own creative voice. Let me know in the comments, what's keeping you from being the abstract painter you want to be? Why can't you get the results you want? What are you having a hard time with when it comes to abstract painting? I'd love to know if there are some other things that I haven't mentioned here that are tripping you up. If you found this valuable, it takes a second to click that like button and it gets this video out to more people. And if you want to subscribe, I put out weekly videos and I'd love to help you along your abstract painting journey. Have a great day.